I'm continuing on with my relocation series, and today I'm talking with Emily Farber, and we are talking about relocating to Iowa from Illinois. And I'm starting right now. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome! I'm so glad you're here. My name is Carrie Jonicas, and I'm a realtor in Chicago's southwest suburbs. Please consider hitting the subscribe button down below and the notification bell to be notified of any new videos that I post. I post new videos every week, and I wouldn't want you to miss out. If you've been here before, thank you so much for stopping by again. I'm here today with Emily, and we are talking about relocating to Iowa from Illinois. Emily, thank you so much for joining me today. Can you just tell me a little bit about yourself and some of the areas that you serve?
Hey Carrie, thanks for having me on your channel today. I'm super excited to chat with you and your viewers who may be interested in relocating to the greater Iowa City area. My name is Emily Farber, and I'm a realtor with Lepic Realtors in Iowa City. I serve the communities of Iowa City, Coralville, North Liberty, and Tiffin. So when people talk about Iowa City, they're usually talking about Iowa City, Coralville, North Liberty, and Tiffin. Iowa City is sort of the big daddy of them all. It's the biggest community, and it is the oldest. So in Iowa City, you'll find everything from classic tree-lined streets and really gorgeous older homes all the way up to new construction. Iowa City is where you'll find the big centralized downtown with the pedestrian mall and all of the fun stuff that comes along with that. Coralville used to be a bedroom community to Iowa City, but that's no longer really the case. It's its own full-fledged town now, and it has seen a lot of growth in the last 30 years. Coralville is where you'll find most of the big box stores and a lot of the chain restaurants in our area. North Liberty, which is to the north of Iowa City and Coralville, used to just be a little tiny place, and it went crazy maybe 20 years ago. Tons and tons of construction happening up in North Liberty, and now it really has become its own community also. It's a really popular place for people who need to split the distance between Cedar Rapids to the north and Iowa City to the south. So families where maybe you have two people that work in different areas, North Liberty is very conveniently located for that. Tiffin, which falls just a little bit to the west off of I-80, used to be like just a wide spot in the road, but it has gone absolutely bonkers in the last 5 years. It's actually considered one of the fastest growing communities in the entire state of Iowa right now. It has a little bit of a feel like a town popped up out of a cornfield because it really, that's what's happening. Tiffin is very close to Coralville and North Liberty, so while Tiffin may be lacking on the amenities at this point, it's just a super short drive over to North Liberty or Coralville, and there's this big new development going in Tiffin right now called Park Place, which is going to be big box stores and restaurants and hotels.
Wow, very interesting. Can you tell me, what does the employment growth look like in those areas?
Employment in the greater Iowa City area almost always looks rosy, thanks to the University of Iowa and the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics. The university serves as a really strong economic driver for our area, and it just keeps us chugging along. We don't see the big ups and downs in our economy the way economies in other parts of the country do.
Now let's talk a little bit about price ranges. What do the price ranges look like in your area?
This is not the cheapest place in Iowa to live in by far. So don't come here thinking that you're going to get small town Iowa prices. I just pulled some data fresh off of my MLS so I could give you guys current numbers here in March of 2021. The average single family home price in Iowa City, Coralville, and North Liberty and Tiffin right now today is $375,000 for homes currently on the market. Compared to 2020, that price was sitting at right around $300,000. We did see a big jump in prices from 2020 to 2021 because of this incredible seller's market that we're in right now. The average home price for a zero lot in the Iowa City area right now, and a zero lot is a home that shares one wall, two single family homes that share a wall, so like a duplex, that's about $259,900. and a condo is about $222,500.
What does the taxes look like in those areas?
Taxes are also not super cheap in Johnson County, where Iowa City, Coralville, North Liberty, and Tiffin are located. I would say your average property tax bill for your average home, so 3 to 4 bedrooms, 3 to 4 baths, 2,500 to 2,800 square feet, is going to cost you somewhere around $5,500 to $6,500 a year.
Well, that's definitely different than in my area. Can you tell me if someone is interested in just coming out and taking a look at your area, what is one thing you definitely want them to see before they make a decision on which area they should move to?
If someone didn't know anything at all about the greater Iowa City area and they were coming here and looking for a house, I really feel like they would need to spend a day or two just driving around checking out different neighborhoods and the communities, because the towns do have different feels. Like I mentioned, Iowa City is much more established. It has the downtown, it has older neighborhoods, newer neighborhoods, neighborhoods from the 50s and 60s that still have all of those tree-lined streets. I live in Iowa City, so I may be a little bit partial to Iowa City, although I know a lot of people really like Coralville also, just because there's a lot of businesses and restaurants happening in Coralville. I love the downtown Iowa City and I love the pedestrian mall aspect of it, but some people, they like being able to just, roll right up to Target or roll right up to Lowe's, and you can do that in Coralville. Coralville, you'll be able to find both older homes, but most of the homes in Coralville are going to probably be from the 1980s to present day. North Liberty is a super popular choice for people who have an interest in being able to easily get to Cedar Rapids or to the Iowa City, Coralville area. North Liberty splits the difference between Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. North Liberty is going to be mostly new to newer construction. There are a couple small neighborhoods with older homes, but the vast majority of it is on the newer side. And like I mentioned, Tiffin is almost all brand spanking new, 5 years or less.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. What does the transportation look like in your area?
So transportation in the greater Iowa City area is largely car dependent. We don't have trains or subways or anything like that. The Iowa City and Coralville do have a public transit system, the Iowa City bus system and the Coralville bus system. They link together in downtown Iowa City, so it would be possible for you to transfer from the Iowa City bus to a Coralville bus and then take off again. I'm not sure how efficient that would be. I've never transferred from an Iowa City bus to a Coralville bus to go a long distance. Every once in a while, I will ride the Iowa City bus from my neighborhood on the east side of Iowa City to downtown and back again. But for the most part, I would say having a car here in the greater Iowa City area is going to be the most common and the most efficient mode of transportation. There is quite a bike scene though in Iowa City, so if the weather is nice, you'll find a lot of bikers out on the road.
Gotcha. So is your area really busy? Do you have a lot of entertainment? Is there a certain spot that maybe they could drive to that's within driving distance if they wanted entertainment, but they really want to live in a quieter area? What does that look like?
The vast majority of places in the greater Iowa City area are not going to seem too crazy with traffic. We don't have the kind of highway systems that you do in Chicago. We've got Interstate 80 that runs east and west through Iowa City and Coralville. And then we have I-380, which runs north-south along the edge of Iowa City and up through North Liberty. There's a couple of roads that get busy during high traffic times, but it's not standstill traffic jams by any means at all. I could get from the far north side of Coralville or even North Liberty, the far north side of North Liberty, all the way down to the far south side of Iowa City in no more than 25 minutes. So I kind of think my scale for what's busy and travel time is probably different than your scale in Chicago.
Thanks for your patience with all these questions that I have for you today. I have just one more question before we get finished up. Can you tell me what is the best time to move to the Iowa City area?
The best time of the year to move? Whenever you need to, I suppose, and whenever you find a house that floats your boat. But our real estate market is cyclical, so you'll see the greatest number of listings show up on the market in the spring and the lowest number of listings in the winter. Our quietest time is between Thanksgiving and the end of January, while our busiest time is probably April and May. We do see another little uptick in activity in the late summer and early fall. But really, you can move here any time of year. There are always homes for sale.
Got it. Thanks so much for sharing that. Now, what is the first step if someone is looking to relocate to Iowa from Illinois? What do they need to do in reaching out to you? Do you set up a buyer's consultation, or how does that work?
If someone is making plans to move to the greater Iowa City area, the first steps that they need to do would be to get in contact with a local lender. If you need any suggestions for local lenders, I am happy to make those to you. And you need to talk to a real estate agent because we're in such a strong seller's market right now. You thinking that you're just gonna kind of randomly watch on the internet and maybe reach out if you see something interesting is not realistic at all. You need to have a real estate agent who is really plugged into the local market and has a lot of connections. Something that I do for a lot of my clients is get them into houses early. So when I hear about an upcoming listing in my own brokerage, which is one of the larger brokerages in town, I work really hard to get my clients in a day or two early, and that way they have a shot at getting the house if they like it. I also work with a lot of relocation clients, and I do video showings for people because let's face it, if you live far away, you're just not going to be able to get here fast enough to view the house and make a decision on the house at the rate that our current market is speeding along. So I do video showings either live, like over FaceTime, or I video them, put them on YouTube, and then provide my buyer clients with a private link to take a look at it. Hey, thanks for having me on your video today, Carrie. I would be happy to talk with anybody who is looking to relocate to the greater Iowa City area, and you can find all my contact information down in the description box of Carrie's video. Catch you later.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Emily, for joining me today. I really appreciate all of your helpful information about relocating to Iowa from Illinois. I really appreciate your time. And if anyone wants to contact you, your information will be in the description box down below. And if you need help in the Illinois area, I would love for you to consider me. You have my contact information in the description box down below as well. Make sure that you download my Moving to Iowa Relocation Guide. You definitely want to download that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime by email, phone, or text. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by.